What is up, guys? It is Robert of Movies with Me, and welcome to Star Wars Episode 7, or Star Wars The Force Awakens movie review. We are less than a month away until Star Wars Episode 8, The Last Jedi. Holy crap. Over the past, I want to say 5 months, we've been reviewing every single Star Wars movie from 1 to Rogue One to 4 to 5 to 6. And here we are at 7, The Force Awakens. Now, the interesting thing about The Force Awakens, which I will just say, there will be spoilers in this movie review, just because I can't not talk about this movie in depth for some parts. But this movie is directed by J.J. Abrams, and it stars John Boyega, Daisy Ridley, Harrison Ford, Carrie Fisher, a bunch of damn people, Adam Driver, new Kylo Ren. There's a lot of damn people. And this movie was riding on the hype of it being a new Star Wars movie in as an episode, or just a new Star Wars movie in general, I guess. But like, think about this: that this is the first sequel in the Star Wars saga, you could say. Since Return of the Jedi, people have been waiting for this, for another sequel, not a prequel, a sequel. And a lot of people had their expectations high, and for the most part, it definitely lived up. But for some people, over time, it's been kind of clouded down on and looked down on, and Rogue One has been more looked up on. And I totally disagree. This is a very special movie to me. It's one of my favorite movies of all time, The Force Awakens. It's actually my favorite Star Wars movie, and I know people are gonna be like, blasphemy. It is, man. It's just, to me, I grew up on seeing Phantom Menace and the other Star Wars, but there's something about nostalgia that doesn't hit me. I'm very nostalgia prone. Like, I don't have nostalgia glasses on. If something's bad, it's bad. Something's good, it's good to me. And Force Awakens just hit me at all ends. That was just like, this movie's fantastic. And I remember when I first left that movie theater, I was like, this is amazing. I love this movie. And I went back to see it another 16 times. This is the most I've ever seen a movie in theaters. I saw it 17 times in theaters. I absolutely loved it. I could not get enough of it. And let's talk about this, to me, masterpiece. Now, there's only one flaw in this movie, and I do mean that flaw in quotation marks. They kept it safe. And I get why they did it, is because they were trying to reboot the whole thing, essentially. They had a lot, again, riding on it. If this movie was bad, shit's gonna go down. They just spent, like, what was it, $4 billion or something on Star Wars. They needed this to be good. And so the whole thing is that they did not go all crazy creative as probably people would have liked. And that's why a lot of people, compared to A New Hope, I understand that there are patterns like A New Hope. There are. Don't get me wrong. But this is it's entirely its own movie, guys. To me, I watch this, I'm like, I do not see A New Hope in this. I see The Force Awakens. That's all I see. And every single person in this movie shines. Every single performance is fantastic. I love Daisy Ridley. I love John Boyega. Those two are now, like, my favorite Star Wars characters to see on screen. Like, for Last Jedi, I know a lot of people are like, you're so hyped for Luke, and I'm hyped to see Luke, don't get me wrong. But I'm very hyped to see the continuation of Rey and Finn's story. I just am. I grew attached to them really damn quick because they're so fantastic. The dialogue is incredibly well written. This movie is beautiful as hell. There's so many shots. They're just so gorgeous, and the soundtrack will be burned in your head, but that's because it's also Star Wars. I mean, that's with every Star Wars movie. Even the prequels had amazing soundtracks, And so, obviously, John Williams did this. He's the guy, And so, everything about this movie, I just love. I have nothing wrong with this movie, really. Again, I guess you could say, like, well, Star Killer Base, why is it just another Death Star? I get that. But I'm going to let it slide, because it's like they got to reboot the whole thing. But if we go into Last Jedi and it's something like Empire Strikes Back, like exactly beat for beat or some shit, okay, I'll have a problem with it, But I let them slide with this one just because they kind of just bought him for $4 billion and they need to make a movie. But this movie was so fantastic, guys. I watched this again today, and I looked at it as if I'd never seen it before. And it still blows my mind. I love this movie. I still get chills in so many different scenes. When Kylo Ren first talks, dude, sounds so good. That first time Kylo Ren actually comes on the screen and goes, "Look how old you've become." Ah, ah. I could say every line in this movie. This is that movie that I literally could say probably almost every line. And like literally, I'm watching this movie, but I just know the line that's coming up next because I love it so much. I think it's such a fantastic movie. And yeah, to me, it's my favorite Star Wars movie. I know a ton of people don't agree. And in fact, even now, a lot of people think Rogue One's better. But to me, the characters are so fantastic. Of course, you get your amazing Han Solo. You get your amazing Han Solo, but now older, obviously. But he still's got that same great banter with Chewbacca. And then, it's cool to see Leia back. R.I.P., man. Last Jedi is going to be fucking sad. But, like, it's so incredible. And then the moments when you actually see Luke Skywalker for the very, last second, it's epic. And you absolutely love it. You see that. It's just when he turns around, the music, and then she goes to hand him the lightsaber. I'm already like tearing up, and it ends. It's like, no, I can't get enough of this movie. This movie is amazing. Every single sequence. And I will say one thing. I guess you could say the Rathars. Or the Rathars. I guess that's how you say it. That whole scene technically doesn't need to be in the movie, but it's still a fun scene, so I don't mind it. Kylo Ren is amazing. I think, here's another blasphemy moment. I think Kylo Ren's already better than Darth Vader. And you may be like, what the fuck? The reason I say this is because he's already a more compelling character if we were to compare A New Hope to The Force Awakens. You know what I mean? As in, if we're going beat for beat, he actually has a character. There's something behind him. He's troubled. He's split between, he's on the dark side, but he still has a little light in him. And I like that a lot because the struggle, and he doesn't know that Darth Vader's became good at the end, technically. So it's like, well, that's awesome. I love to hear that. And then, for instance, when Han Solo actually dies, it's like, whoa, it's so strong and emotional and incredibly powerful. And then you end with an epic lightsaber battle with Rey and Kylo Ren, and also Finn and Kylo Ren for a little bit there. And that also gives me chills when he goes, "Traitor!" And then he's like, "That lightsaber belongs to me." And then Finn just goes, "Well, come and get it." And it's so epic. I love it. Every single scene in this movie, to me, is amazing. And again, like I said before, not a lot of people think that. But to me, I absolutely love this movie. It's one of my favorite movies of all time. Of course, overall, I'm going to give Star Wars The Force Awakens a 10 out of 10. To me, this movie is a masterpiece. I love it. I love it from beginning to end. Like, everything about this movie gives me chills. Everything about it. When you first see Rey, from the very echoey, and she slides down the hill. It's just so good. I love it. I love it. Can't get enough of this movie. And that's why, specifically for those characters, I can't wait to see them continue in The Last Jedi. We're going to see more Rey and Kylo Ren and Finn. And of course, we're going to get more Luke. And I bet you Luke, this is my prediction, the Luke in The Last Jedi is going to be like his best performance in all of the Star Wars franchise. I just feel like because we're in a newer age, just everyone's on their A game now, and so I think it's just fantastic. We're gonna see an Oscar-worthy Mark Hamill in Luke as Luke Skywalker in The Last Jedi. He's gonna be fantastic. I can guarantee you he's gonna be amazing, and it's gonna be his best performance in the Star Wars franchise, guarantee it. And yeah, guys, like I said, this is my favorite Star Wars movie. What is your favorite Star Wars movie? Let me know down in the comments below. And what did you think of Force Awakens? Did you like it? Did you not like it? Let me know down in the comments below, and I'll see you guys next time.